Alrighty, this is going to be another tutorial. This is going to be the double or nothing to tower bind. It's going to look something like this. So you can actually get it into a double red triangle, which you saw at the end, and then bind also. It's a different variation. It's the same trick though. Double or nothing, right? But instead of getting in the double or nothing, we're going to roll over and behind the strings. Then we're going to come up and over and land on the string that's coming off of our thumb. Get these strings off your non-throw hand, only the one that's on top of here. Keep hooked onto it. There we go. Tower. Double red triangle. That's not a green triangle, it's a red triangle. We could just swing it out and bind. Sometimes it'll slip, sometimes it won't. Or you could try to just drop, pull up and bind. Either way, tower part's this. Right? This is the string you land on. I like to come over the top of my hand when I do a double or nothing. So most of my tricks that involve double or nothing will be like that. They won't go over my fingers. It's gonna go off over the top of my hand. So the first pass in this double or nothing, do it over the top of your hand. It'll make it way easier. Over the top of the hand, then we come here, right? Up, over and behind the strings. Then as we're rolling up and over, we're gonna land on this, make sure the thumb's down or out like this. Hand like this or like this. That way you can land on the string that's coming over your thumb. The string that's wrapped around my non-throw hand, keep hooked onto that, or at least leave a finger in, and then we're in the tower. We let go of this here, and it'll let us be in a double red triangle. There we go. That will snag in there. So that's going to be all there is to this trick. Exit it how you want to. You don't have to do the red triangle part. In fact, I think the bind hits a little better without the red triangle part. Forward, landing on this string, right? They'll snag sometimes, so be careful. Because this lands you in a binding position, understand that you need to make sure you do not let the string feed in to the gap. If that string feeds too much in, it's going to bind. Here, right, instead of landing on double or nothing. Now if you're struggling, just land in the double or nothing. Go over the top of your non-throw hand, land double or nothing. Hop up and behind the strings. Roll up and over your non-throw hand and land on the string coming over your thumb. Right here, only the string furthest this way towards our non-throw hand side gets pinched. Lands us in the tower once again. If I let go of this, shake my hands, I'm in a bind position. Swing out and bind. So it's easier to do that than the red triangle part. So play with it and see what's easiest for you. Once again, let's do this. We come to the double or nothing, but instead we come up and behind the strings. Instead of landing in the double or nothing, we're gonna come up behind the strings, right? Closer to our body. And then we come around again and land on the string that's coming over our thumb. Let's do it. Up and behind, over, onto the string that's coming over our thumb, right? Or under our thumb. If I have my hand like this, it's over. If I have my hand like this, then it's under, but it's still the same string, the bottom string. Let go. The strings, I like to pinch them because it makes it easier. But once I'm here, I let go. And I'm in the tower. Do what's most comfortable for you in this trick. See? It's not actual green triangle, it's a red triangle. Fluid motion. want to be more certain to bind. See, if you're from the tower, yeah, it's easy to do the one-handed bind from there. That's simple. But once it reconfigures and does the double red triangle, it may be more prone to slipping on the bind. I was spinning way too fast, so I got a snaggy bind. Got a big tail on it. So sometimes you have too big of a tail, you're gonna obviously have a snaggy bind. That's something you learn when you're barely throwing, so keep that in mind. Right, over my non-throw hand, here, come behind the strings. Come onto the bottom string, right, the one coming over my thumb. Right, let those slack off, except the one that's furthest towards my non-throw hand side. I don't let that slack off of my hand. Here, double red triangle. If you want, you can insert a finger here, just to break the strings apart, right? Bang it down. That'll separate the strings from the red triangles. Flick out, bind. So the more comfortable you get with this and the better you get at it, you'll be able to get that bind a lot easier. And maybe not snag like that. So it's a fairly simple trick. We'll do it from the side, just for the sake of doing it from the side. There we go. See, so let the spin slow down, you won't get such a snaggy bind. Hope you all like this one. See, by keeping our throw hand higher than our non-throw hand, that's one way to keep it from feeding in, right? That's what I mean by don't let it feed in. That's wanting to bind. This is going into the gap. This is going to the gap. It's wanting to start a bind. Because when I let my hands go, this is your bind loop. We all know that that's the side you bind for when you throw a breakaway. So that's actually your bind loop right there. Once you let go of the strings, you'll figure that out. That's why you don't let that feed in. That's your binding loop. Over. Then we'll adjust the strings, right? Then we can adjust it. It won't feed in that way. Pointer comes into the front of the bottom triangle, red triangle. Bind. So, play with this trick. See which little techniques work better for you, because you know you're your own player. And what feels comfortable for me may not feel so comfortable for you. You may feel that putting a different finger into one of the loops works better for you because you're just more comfortable with it. So work with it. I hope you liked the tutorial. I hope I broke it down well enough. I didn't want to be too repetitive either. So everyone have a good one. Be back with more.